Good evening, parents. I wanted to provide an update for you, especially regarding our enrollment and then our staffing for next school year. So it wasn't that long ago, we all went through COVID, and one thing our school experienced during that time period was very rapid growth. We were at about the same size we are currently, maybe a little smaller than we are now, and we grew exponentially, shooting up over 100 students, which probably represented about a 30% growth, maybe 40% growth in our school. And so a lot of people came to our school for various reasons. Of course, the fact that we weren't requiring students to wear masks and left that decision up to parents, and also the fact that we had in-person learning from an early stage, and those that were with us back then remember that we wrestled around with the legal issues and talked with attorneys and felt that these were some allowances that were in the law where we could do this legally. And so we were very excited just to be able to lean towards parental rights on these issues rather than more government dictatorship. And so we wanted to do things legally and submit to governmental authority, but give our parents as much freedom as legally possible. And so I think overall things have worked out really well for us to be able to do that. But a number of people came to us during that time period, and we were happy to have new folks here and welcome them into our school family. But one concern we had back at that time was just to not grow because of those issues, but to grow primarily because people wanted a Christian education for their children. And that's something we always emphasize with every new family, and especially during that time. Some of our core values that we're a place where young people can learn about God and grow in their Christian faith and learn a Christian worldview, a biblical worldview as part of their education. And so we're just so excited that we have this opportunity and we can be a help to these young people to grow spiritually along with their academic learning. And so although we are an academic institution and we strive to do our academics well, at our heart, first and foremost, is to strive to do Christian well. And so we're excited. And so there have been challenges, of course, over this past year. We remember back that Mrs. Bravo's husband was in a bad accident. And so the end of last year, we saw her able to be with us part of the time. And then she wasn't able to come back when she was expecting her first child. And so that left a little bit of uncertainty for our families and not knowing how she might be replaced. And then, of course, the Snows ended up moving away. So we lost Mrs. Snow as one of our teachers and then Pastor Snow as well. So that has been a challenge. And I think for many of our parents, that's been a little unsettling. At least that's what some of you have communicated to us. And we're anxious to see how those staff positions would be filled. And then it was a challenge getting Mr. Slava here. It took a lot longer than we anticipated. So we understand that. It's not always been the ideal from our perspective, and sometimes the road's been a little bit more difficult, but I think the Lord has been in it, and we're looking forward to the future here at Calvary. But underscoring all that is just emphasizing with you the core value going forward hasn't changed, and we just look forward to emphasizing Christian. We've had a number of ways that we've tried to improve things here at the school over the years. And most recently, we've had school safety issues is something that we've tried to address. We've upgraded the irrigation in the ball field. We put new playground equipment in. We've done different maintenance projects, roof repairs, landscaping. Yet in all that, that's not our primary goal and purpose. These things all enhance our education, but we hope that Christian is what you're here for, and that's certainly the number one thing that we desire to see going forward. But we are excited at this point, looking forward to next year with our staffing situation, because all of our teacher positions are filled. And so we have, of course, Mrs. Butler, Miss Kate Butler, Mrs. Reed, all coming back in their current positions. And then as announced in the previous communication, we have Mrs. Lisa Hernandez joining us. And Mrs. Hernandez taught in our school back about 2010, 2009, that range. She taught with us for a couple of years and was our third grade teacher at the time. And so most recently she's been at the Hollister Prep Academy as a fourth grade teacher, and has done a number of things over the years, working with Early Education Center with special needs children here in San Benito County. She's had some work with the Hollister School District, and she's really excited to be coming back on our staff, and she's really excited to be back in a Christian setting and in a Christian school. And so we look forward to her energy and some of the ideas that she's picked up that may be a help and she can share with our teachers. So we're really excited to have Mrs. Hernandez back on staff. She's attended our church since about the year 2000. Has been a deaconess in our church, and her husband has been a deacon, and so we appreciate their family. And I'll share a picture of their family and Mrs. Hernandez at some point down the road when I can obtain one of those. She has 4 children, and her oldest child has 2 little ones. And so we look forward to being able to share a little bit more about that with you. Our ministry is still looking for a pastor, and our pastoral search committee is actively engaged in that and talking at times with different people behind the scenes. And we trust that the Lord's going to fill that position as well. So we think the Lord's in this and is providing needs, and we're trying to be patient with that and in His timing see those needs filled. Do I have any concerns going forward? There's different challenges that we've experienced throughout the year. One of the things that we're hearing from families currently is financial difficulties. So we've had some families express that recently as some reasons that they may not be back. And unfortunately, think about inflation and the economy. That gets very concerning when people perhaps lose a job or finances get tight and it's difficult to be able to pay tuition. So that would be a prayer request on our hearts that the Lord provides for that and blesses families by being able to allow them to continue here. And we understand the sacrifice that you as families are making in paying that tuition, and we hope that you look at the education that you're receiving and the atmosphere that your children get to learn in, being a Christian-based atmosphere, that we hope that that's something that you see value in. And so we're excited to be able to continue offering what many have described as a good academic education, a high level in a Christian setting. And so, I think back, it wasn't that long ago, prior to, say 10 years ago, that we had lower enrollment in our school, and then those were some of the sweetest and happiest years. So even though we're down from what our high was during COVID, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hoping families that want a Christian education for their children, especially, would that we stick together and have some great times looking forward. We've already seen several new students enroll for next year, and our kindergarten is starting to take shape. Keep in mind that we do have a financial aid option to apply for, and so if that is something that is needed, keep that option in mind, and please don't hesitate to take us up on that offer to apply for financial aid. It is a needs-based financial aid program and based on family income and expenses. The early enrollment discount is ending March 31st, so in about a week, a little over a week. And so I'd encourage you, if you're planning on enrolling your child, if you do it by the end of March, there is a $100 discount off of the enrollment fee. And that's in particular helpful to us, and why we offer that is to encourage families to lock in a spot earlier rather than later. Gives us a chance to start making our plans earlier and rather than waiting later in the summer for that. So if you've made your decision, I'd encourage you to consider making that final before the end of March. So we look forward to continuing to minister to families, and for those that are enrolling for next year, we're really excited about what God has to offer, and excited to welcome new staff. All right, thank you. Take care, and we look forward to seeing many of you at the spring concert on Monday or Tuesday. Again, tickets are not needed for that. Children have a full dress rehearsal on Monday, so we have some fun things coming up, and we look forward to an Easter break soon, and then we have our standardized test after that. So there's a lot of things on the schedule coming up here. We look forward to continuing to minister to you. Take care, and hope you have a great weekend. Bye now.